where they pick. So, all right. All right, this is the first thing that you'll see when you get into Eclipse. And let's see here. All right, so you have that installed. And the next thing that we're going to do is actually download the Android SDK, which is this website. Once again, if you notice up here, it is developer.android.com SDK index HTML. Okay, so right now I'm going to download it for Mac OS X, which is what I have. If you have a Windows, you can either download it as a zip or executable. Executable is easier because all you have to do is double click on it and it'll do what it needs to do. Alright, so I'm downloading the Android SDK. And folks, this is the hardest part to it, is basically getting this sort of thing installed. This is what takes the most amount of time, but I'm telling you, it is extremely easy to create Android apps. And once you get the hang of it, piece of cake. Piece of cake. It's just all about how much time that you want to dedicate to doing Android apps, okay? Alright, now that I have the Android SDK on my computer, what I want to do is go to Eclipse, Help, Install New Software, and then where it says Work With, which is, one second here. So the Work With box right here where it says Work With, okay? And what you're going to do, like I said, I'm going to make sure that you get all of these links. That way you don't have to memorize this stuff. You don't have to write it down right now. I just want you to see it so that when you get to this part, it will be very familiar to you. Alright, so that's the link. I'm going to click Add. Then want to name it Android SDK. And every step that I'm doing right now is necessary. You cannot miss a step. If you miss a step, it will not work properly. I promise you that. Many people have tried to do it a different way, okay, and it did not work out properly for them. So you have to do it like I'm doing it, and I'm also going to provide a PDF that'll go over these steps, and you have to do them step, but you cannot miss a step and feel like, oh, well, I just downloaded the SDK from the website. Now I don't have to do this. No, you have to do all of this, or it's not going to work right. Everything that I'm showing you is necessary, or I wouldn't be doing it. All right. Next thing, you see where it says Developer Tools? What you want to do is put a checkbox there. You want to click Next. All right, you want to click Next. You want to accept the terms and click Finish. All right. So it's going to install this new software. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this while it's installing the software. So I got that installed. Now, two things I want you to remember. It is going to throw out a warning that you are installing something with unsigned content. Don't worry about that. Just go ahead and click Next. It's also going to say for you to restart Eclipse, and that's what I just did, and it brought me back to this screen. So just make sure you do both of those, and it'll bring you back to this screen, which is fine, and we can get started to the next part of this, okay? Alright, now since we've already installed the Android, well, we've already downloaded the Android SDK, then we want to find it on our computer, which mine is under Downloads. Hold on, folks. 1 second. It's been a while since I've been doing this a while now. And they change this stuff up sometimes. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it, then come right back. Hold on. What I did, I just allowed them to download it. This is something new that I've not run into lately since I have installed the software. But I wanted to do it brand new, and it looks like they've changed it a bit, where you just check that first check box, click next, and it'll bring you to this screen. Okay. All right. I want to accept all and install. It looks like what they're doing now is they're taking that step out where you go yourself and actually download the SDK. I'm just so used to doing it that we went through that step, but it may be now that it's downloading these SDK tools that it is doing it automatically. So make a note of that they've changed this a bit from when I started, because I'm going through some instructions that I have written down in the past. And it looks like they change this up every now and then. Of course, you know, with Google, things change a lot. And it seems like that they have changed this part of this tutorial a bit. Okay, now while this is installing, I am going ahead and come back in 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and pause this while this is installing and then come right back. All right, everyone, I am back. And it looks like now this is probably the longest part of this process, and I'll show you how to get to this screen, because you'll need to make sure that you have all this installed. But first of all, let me show you how I got to that screen. I went to Window, Android SDK Manager, and it brought this screen up. Okay, and if you notice here on the side where it says Status, some of this stuff you need, some of it you don't. But what I do is I'm not a coder per se. I develop Android apps to make money. So I'm not studying to be a coder. So the things that I see over here, I just make sure I install everything that's over here. It may be some things that we don't need, but I install everything. So what I do is I go through here. And you'll only need to do this once, because once you have this stuff installed, you're good. Okay. All right. Now, excuse me. Now, the ones that you already see that say installed, you don't have to install those again, because what it's going to do is delete those if you check them. So make sure those are unchecked. Make sure the delete packages is grayed out. So what we'll do is install 63 packages. Accept all. Make sure it's always accept all and install. Now, like I said, this is the part that takes the longest amount of time, because it's downloading a lot of software from Google. And this is the part where you really need a fast connection to make sure that you get this information. So I'm going to go ahead and let all this install, and I'm going to pause the video. I'll be right back. Alright, now once you get all those packages installed, you're good to go. You have everything that you need to start well, you don't have everything that you need, but you have everything that you need for your computer to start developing Android apps. Like I said, if you have any questions, you can visit my blog, which is blog.mobilemailboxmoney.com or mobilemailboxmoney.com, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thanks, and enjoy yourself.